What's going on, ladies and DeGents? This is another special episode of the Distinguished DeGents podcast, your one in many homes of degenerate gambling. I'm one half of the Distinguished DeGents. I'm the guy on the left, aka the loser that bet on Russell Wilson. My name is Steve Big Bucks Abeda. Joining me as always is my co-host, the guy on the right, aka my partner in gambling. Also an idiot that bet on Russell Wilson, Jason Money Mansman. Oh boy. Rough start to week 12 for the DeGents here at this.
Maybe the streak ends. The streak may end.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Opening remarks. Lot of newsworthy breaks over the last few days since we last got together. Primarily with New York football. We briefly talked on the Jets. We could briefly go over the Giants situation. So we know that Daniel Jones got benched for Tommy DeVito. Breaking news this morning, though. Daniel Jones, after 1 day of practice squad safety role, is released. I would ask who the more dysfunctional organization is in New York, but I don't even want to disrespect the Maras that much. They at least they've won. I mean, they've won 2 Super Bowls in this millennia. So, like, for whatever that's worth, like, you know, with whatever good they came up with, I guess there has to be some bad. But the Jets are just all bad. Here's my question I'll pose to start off the episode. Instead of asking which organization is the worst, what the fuck are the Giants thinking? Like what are they doing? This,
by the way, Brian Daboll should be fired immediately.
You think Brian? Okay,
I told you, Josh Allen made him. He's done. He should have been fired today.
Really? Okay, so give us your thoughts. What's the state of the Giants? That's really where we should start. What do you think is the state of the Giants? Like, we have started in the preseason. They let Saquon Barkley go. They signed Daniel Jones to this big deal. They made this big fucking argument on Hard Knocks. Now that we know how the season is gone, now that they have released Daniel Jones, now we have Tommy Cutlets back in the lineup. Drew Lock's still the number 2 quarterback. Tim Boyle is a practice squad quarterback now. I mean, my question, what the fuck are the Giants doing?
Oh, can we talk about the fact that Daniel Jones was a practice? You had $160 million quarterback as your practice squad safety. Brian Daboll should have been fired immediately. He should be unemployed with Daniel Jones. Brian Daboll sucks. Gave him some credit early, but I told you, Josh Allen made him. Everyone was like, yeah. Oh, he made Josh Allen? Nah, bitch. Nah.
No.
Josh Allen made you. You fat fuck. Lose some weight. Get a new job. You had $160 million a year quarterback playing practice squad safety. Lose some weight, you fat bastard. You should be fired.
What about the Giants GM? Do you think he bears any blame here?
Joe Shane's close, man. He was a disciple of Brandon Beane. I'll tell you what, man. Dorsey, Daboll, couple of the leaves that have fallen out of the Buffalo Bills tree. Not too good. Not too good. Joe Shane, not good, man. $160 million. Not what you want.
Jesus. And yeah, not to mention, too, a lot of the Giants locker room, believe it or not, abhorrently against benching Daniel Jones. Was that a surprise, or do you think that's just a stereotypical response just from a locker room perspective?
Honestly, for a team as dysfunctional as the Giants, the fact that they came out so strongly in support, not good. And I was actually high on the Giants this week, and that changed. That story changed a lot for me. A lot.
I mean, It didn't change too much for me. I've been down on the Giants all year. I have not been good whatsoever. Again, like, there were so many primetime spots for this Giants team, and all you could ask yourself was why. Like Daniel Jones sucks in the spotlight. Why would you keep throwing him in? And it was like, now ESPN's turning around and they're like, oh, well, Daniel Jones was set up for failure. He couldn't have succeeded. They never built around him. But 3 weeks ago, they're fucking laughing at him and they're like, this guy sucks. They paid him $160 million. He's no good. And that's sports media for you. Like, 1 minute it's one narrative, the next minute we're flip-flopping and be like, well, no, we feel bad. And it's like, guys like me and you, we at least come forward and we're like, no, we believe Daniel Jones sucks. We believe he shouldn't have been paid $160 million. But the Giants organization as a whole is going to be a failure because they don't build around what they have. Their best weapon they got rid of. Like, what the fuck is this team doing? I don't know why, half the narrative just gets left out half the time. And that's a talking point too. It's like, why all of a sudden the Giants are getting pissed off at ESPN? Well, you shouldn't be making fun of Daniel Jones. He's a stand-up guy. It's like, okay, he's a stand-up guy, but you guys are fucking what, 2-7? You lost to the Panthers. 2-8. You lost to the Panthers. He's a stand-up guy. That's great. Your quarterback's terrible. Well, don't make fun of him, and then you proceed to release him. I mean, what kind of fucking message?
These teams just don't cut bait early enough. This is a move. Don't get me wrong. Releasing Daniel Jones, right decision. Week 7. You're 5 weeks too late. We could tell early in the year when he literally still hadn't thrown a touchdown pass. It was like, you made a mistake. You got to own it. Look at Denver. Denver owned their mistake. They're not even supposed to be competitive. Look at how good they are.
Well, and honestly, looking back at the Denver situation, they let Russell finish the season for the most part. Up until they were essentially out of playoff contention. And the whole Russell Wilson debacle about benching him, that was bad. That was Denver's mistake. The fact that got out to begin with, that should have never happened. Denver should have never put Russ in that situation to begin with. But both are true. We got ourselves in a bad situation with Russ. Sean Payton didn't like him. But in terms of what they actually did versus what they said, Denver said, Russ, get us to the playoffs. Maybe we restart the conversation. They didn't get to the playoffs. So you know what they did? Russ, you're gone. We're going to pay you to leave. Do whatever you want. We need to rebuild. Yeah. And I got to give Sean, I don't believe Sean. I think Sean Payton believes he's better than he really is. But at the same time, he is very much a realist. And I love the moves he's done with this organization in a realistic sense. Russell Wilson, are you our quarterback? No, you need to go. We need to start rebuilding. You go into a draft. Well, where are we at? We're at the 12th. Can we move up? No. We need a quarterback. We're going to go reach for Bo Nix. Well, Bo Nix is a day 2 guy. Bo Nix is a second rounder. Okay, well, we need a quarterback. Do we want to wait 30 picks to get what we need? No, we're just going to take him now.
The Raiders were going to pick Bo Nix. The Raiders were 100% picking Bo Nix.
No, they took Brock Bowers first. That was the crazy thing.
I thought they were going to take. Are you sure about you keep going. I got to look.
Maybe. Well, go look that up. But my point being is sometimes an organization, there's a professional way and there's a wrong way of doing it. There are there's organizations, for better or worse with the Raiders and Antonio Pierce. I think if they let them finish out the year, the season's already doomed. You see who you have, you finish it out. And
You literally did it. You literally did it another. You picked a spot ahead of them and got Bo Nix.
We were one spot ahead. Okay.
The Raiders were 100% going to draft Bo Nix. Could you imagine if they drafted Bo Nix and the Raiders were good? God, you'd be
no, because Bo Nix would not have been good with the Raiders. He would have been another fucking. He would have been another Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell type. I hate to say it, but
definitely helped a lot.
Exactly, yeah. But I mean, there's right and wrong ways for organizations to do things. The Giants have just completely fucked this up from the beginning, and the Jets too. We can talk about the Jets another day, obviously, but literally the dysfunction in New York. The dysfunction with some of these teams is just hysterical.
Yeah. Feels good to be a team on the right path, right, buddy? It must feel good. Like you got a future now. It's exciting.
See, like our thing is like if I just make the playoffs, or not if I make the playoffs, but if Denver makes the playoffs, that's all we want. We don't even need to win. This is like when do you remember when Buffalo made the playoffs in 2018 after the Bengals? Like you had no expectations of making it, but you were just like, can we just get there? Can we just hit that level and move on? Because you just feel like once you hit that step, it's only up. And that's where Denver's at right now.
More of the 2019 Josh Allen playoffs. I will say, speaking of like hard decisions, I give Buffalo a lot of credit. 2017, they made the playoffs for the first time in forever with Tyrod Taylor.
That's right.
Yep, Tyrod Taylor, not our future. We're literally going to suck with Josh Allen because we think he's our future. And you
didn't even suck. And that's the crazy thing. You didn't even suck. You like stayed at the same pace too.
Bro, remember how things forget? We're gonna get way off track. Just real quick. Do you remember the Bills 2018 Josh Allen's year? Those first two games. Remember when they were talking about literally after Vontae Davis retired that Sean McDermott should be fired week 3?
Yes.
Remember when we were 17, 21 or 22 and a half point underdogs in Minnesota. That was the Anthony Barr game when Josh Allen hurdled Anthony. I'm pretty sure we were like 20-point underdogs in that game or like 19-point underdogs. People forget that. Like, you're right. The Bills weren't good, but they were like competitive towards the end of the year. People forget the beginning of the year, Baltimore beat us like 70-3. We lost to the Chargers 49-3. Vontae Davis retired. We were literally like 20.5-point underdogs in Minnesota. And people were like, wow, is this Bills team going to go 0-17? Are they the worst team ever? Josh Allen's a bust. Sean McDermott's going to get fired by week 4. And then we literally beat the Vikings like 34-10. And it just changed the entire trajectory.
Well, I'll end it with this. I said this about the Denver Broncos in the offseason. It basically was the mindset of this. You got rid of Russ. You were a, 7-10, 8-9 team. I basically said, like, if you can do the same with a rookie, but show some improvement, then Sean Payton was right. And I look at the Bills, and I said when Tyrod Taylor made the playoffs, the question was, could you take a rookie and do essentially the same thing, but improve and build off of that? Look at where the Bills are now. That's my hope for Denver, is that, like, if we make the playoffs, that's phenomenal. Could we finish above 500, though? Like, if we finished above 500, I would be like, you know what? We're trending in the right direction. The year after could be a playoff year when we establish a fucking receiving core for once, you know? Literally, we're in like part 1 of a rebuild. But if they follow the Bills model, in 2 years, we'll be a playoff threat. The way that this team is going.
And it gets tough because now, like, this week especially, and then we'll start getting to the games, this to me is a big week for Denver. You have a young team against a division rival who is having a shit year. Close playoff race. These are the types of losses that you cannot have. Like, Denver has to win.
Well, speaking of losses you can't have, the Steelers, unfortunately, last night lost to the Cleveland Browns in the first ever snow game for the year. 1924 was the final. Steelers had the late drive to take the lead, 19-18. Cleveland with the comeback, though, 24 in the 2-minute drill. Unfortunately, due to some penalties and bad calls, in my opinion, but Cleveland gets the win as the dog. They cover, and they get the over, which I was correct on, so I got one part right. This, to me, I'm going to go real quick, because this really was a rough game in general, like in terms of a sports betting side. Really a tale of two halves. First half, it was like rainy, windy, teams couldn't do shit. They were literally like, Chris Boswell's the best kicker ever, and then he shanks a 58-yarder. Why they put him out for a 58-yarder, I don't know, but, in that situation. But they did. Kind of was a killer for Pittsburgh, if you ask me. I just think that's one of those unfortunate Tomlin moves where if he makes it and it pays off, you're talking about a whole different game. The fact that he missed it, they're playing from behind. Unfortunately, he's going to have to take the shit for it. But the minute the snow came down, it was like Jameis Winston woke up. And he remembered how to be a quarterback. And the Steelers just, this two soft shell zone. I don't know what defense scheme they had for the Steelers in this snow. Like the minute they saw white on the field, soft coverage, they didn't want to run. It was just like players could run up the middle of the fucking end zone. Such a weird defensive scheme for this matchup to me. And like Jameis was, he took advantage of it. Happy for Jameis though. The guy seems happier than, a pig in pig shit just to fucking be playing quarterback again. So it's nice to see, but I don't know. Like, really bad spot for Pittsburgh. Kind of wish I was on the Cleveland side.
Bad spot for Pittsburgh is right. And I called it again. Another Thursday loss. It's, maybe I'll lose all 3 Thanksgiving games next week. Make it a real. I've been terrible on Thursdays, and it just kills me because this is another one.
You're not good on Thanksgiving either.
No, not traditionally. And normally I've been pretty good on Thursdays, but I'm like you this year. Every Thursday I'm just picking the wrong game. It's like unfucking believable. I had the right handicap. Steelers coming off of their Super Bowl, physical game against the Ravens, terrible spot on the road, perfect letdown. And what was the handicap? Well, I think the Steelers could run the ball. Let's have Russell Wilson just throw every.
Oh.
It was like I don't know. It was just such a weird game. They threw the ball like every play.
It was weird because every time they ran the ball, they got stuffed at the line. So it wasn't from lack of trying. There was 2 4th and shorts, like literally 2 4th and inches that I remember. They handed the ball to Najee and Jalen Warren, and they just got stuffed. So I just think that Steelers they made adjustments accordingly. So they were like, well, the run's not necessarily working. We have to adjust. But I don't know why the fuck you would think Russell Wilson deep ball throw in the middle of the fucking snow was a good idea. Why not throw some play action? Why not some crack tosses? I don't like. It just seemed like really bad play calling from the Steelers, unfortunately, from Arthur Smith. But but then again, it was working up until a point. It was just like you expected better, but the minute snow became an element, they fucking folded.
And that shanked punt was a kill. That was a killer.
Oh, that was horrendous. What was it? A 15-yard punt? Not even. It was so bad. Yeah, the minute that happened, I should have live bet Cleveland and just bet the house on it because that just. The minute that happened, you knew it was going downhill. And then there was a fucking flag, too, that fucking put them in the end zone, very early with the 2-minute drill. You just knew it was going to happen.
This is also a weakness I have. Over-counting the weather games. That was a mistake. I always overblow the weather games, and it never affects the game as much as I think. I thought it was going to be. And don't get me wrong, to some extent it was, but not nearly as much as I thought it was going to. I thought neither team was going to be able to really throw the ball. They were literally just going to pound away at each other, and it's not entirely what happened.
No, Jameis had a couple throws deep in the fucking snow, deep in the elements. He was not afraid. Neither was Russell Wilson, truth be told, when he had time in the pocket. The difference was when Pittsburgh went to blitz, they got stuffed. When Cleveland went to blitz, somebody broke through and Russell Wilson had to get out of the pocket. Trust me when I say I really wanted to shit on Russ for this game, but I don't know that many quarterbacks that would do much better than he did in that situation. And they even did packages with Justin Fields. It was really strange, but that was the game to do it. Yeah. And I just hope he didn't show his hand too early.
Early Thanksgiving gift. Bill's getting an early Thanksgiving gift with the Steelers taking an L. We'll take it.
Oh, does that put you at the number 1? Or no, it's not number 1, but
number 2 though. we're in the number 2 spot now.
You'll take it. Any final thoughts, comments, remarks for the Thursday night football game before we get into the rest of the slate?
No, I lose on Thursday again. I suck.
Unfortunately. All right, real quick. This is Pros Joe's week 2. Well, really it's week 12, but this is Pros versus Joe's 2. I couldn't think of a better theme to capitalize on this week. A lot of not crazy lines, but a lot of line movement over some very critical numbers in the betting world. We have a lot of 7.5s. We have some 5.5s. 10.5s is a crazy number too in terms of the football world. A lot of sharp podcasts have been all over the place with this week, and this to me has been the hardest, most difficult week to handicap. I literally have done 4 or 5 laps across some of these games. Don't know if I really still have a side, truth be told. I have my best bets in, but I'm just going to say for once they're actually very flexible. They could change in the middle of the episode. So what were your thoughts and comments in terms of like the betting trends and what the sharps have had to say so far? Because now we're Friday into the week. So, I mean, what are your overall thoughts regarding these games just in general?
Yeah, this felt like one of the hardest weeks. I feel like there's a lot of teams in not that great spots. A lot of teams on the bye. This is a very, very, very tough week for me. We're really, really tough week. I don't know what to make of a lot of these games. This is hard. And like you said, some of the sharps I've listened to, same thing. That there's not really a great consensus.
No, there's a couple consensuses, but even with the arguments I've heard, it's not even like, it's not that I've heard good arguments. It's just a lot of sharps that I've heard been like, well, I just think this is the side, and we're just gonna go with that. And here, this team has this, and they're not that good, so look, we're just gonna go with this. And I don't know if it's just a lack of prep. I don't know if it's like a deep dive or it really just is that hard. I'm not 100% on most of these games, but there's some where like I've heard some angles and it really makes me wonder if these people should be sharps with the logic that they're presenting. But
well, to be fair, the sharps have been hemorrhaging money all year, so.
Yeah, and this is like I will say one of the sharps called it this week. They said this is the week we come back because like this is the kind of week. It's like Shark Week for them. Like there's blood in the water. There's like public favorites out the dick, and they're just like, "Yep, this is our turn. This is where we bounce back." So,
well, Pittsburgh, good start for them with Pittsburgh going down.
Yep. All right, we're on to week 12. We have 13 games to go over. We only have 2 non-conference spots this week. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 divisional games. We still have our primetime slate. This is a bunch of look ahead to Thursday night football, except it's not Thursday night football. This is a look ahead to Thanksgiving week. So looking ahead to the holiday nonstop craziness. Mansman, you ready to kick this off?
Let's get it done. Let's get it done.
Really frosty right now, by the way.
Cheers, brother. All right, let's kick it off. Starting it off, we got a NFC North divisional rivalry matchup. It's the Minnesota Vikings laying 3.5 on the road. Third road game in a row for the Vikings. Minus 184 on the money line. They're traveling to Chicago. Plus 154 on the money line. Plus 3.5 for them. Over-under total is 39.5. Vikings getting 69% of the bets and 68% of the money according to FanDuel odds. Vikings are 8-2 on the spread. They're 8-2 straight up. Very good to bet on. Both teams are dead under teams, and the Bears, though, 6-4 ATS and 4-6, but they're on a really bad downward spiral. Mansman, I do believe it's your turn to kick off the show. Are you laying the 3.5 with the road favorite, or are you switching sides with the Bears here?
I'm trying to think if I want to. Do I want to start off this way? Oh my God, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna do.
It's all right. It's a rough week. Whatever happens, like if we fight, we fight.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. This hurts. I'm trying to get it out. This is my dog of the week. Oh god.
Oh boy.
Bears are my dog of the week. Pure spot play. There's no other reason to play this except the spot play. Vikings, third straight road game. Bears coming off an absolutely killer loss. I don't really favor a lot of the other dogs on the card, so that helped as well. But to me, this is actually one where I think the Thursday look ahead helps. Chicago plays at Detroit Thanksgiving, 12:30. The Bears have to feel like this is the game to have a good performance, because I think they're going to get absolutely embarrassed on Thanksgiving by the Lions.
Got the dogs playing.
Yeah, Dan Campbell's going to be ready to go, bite off those kneecaps. Minnesota hasn't been playing all that great. I think this is the sharp play here. It hurts really bad. It really does. Chicago Bears, dog of the week.
Wow. Oh boy. Well, the good news is we're not crossfiring. I am siding with the Vikings. Look, I get the spot. What you said makes 100% sense. Chicago had their field goal blocked to beat the Packers for the first time in, 10 plus years. Heartbreak. Packers should be frauds. They're no good. It was the same narrative with Denver. And the next week you're like, well, Denver, it's a spot you would have normally faded the week after, but they lost, so now you kind of have to change the game script.
I think Denver was in a great position. Heartbreaking loss, coming back. Those teams normally do well.
Yeah, here's my problem, though. Like, I think Denver got a step down in class in terms of competition. The Bears, on the other hand, I think it's a step up. And that's my problem. I don't think the Packers' defense is really that good. I don't think Jair Alexander was playing that game. If he was, I couldn't have fucking told you. Supposedly, this Bears offense would have been revitalized. They scored a whopping, 19? Really wasn't all that it wasn't really all that impressive, so I didn't really see a difference. Now they're getting a Brian Flores-led defense who... Now, mind you, I'm the biggest critic of Brian Flores. There's a video circulating somewhere around YouTube of me last year basically saying there's 2 games you need to watch in 2023. And it was Brian Flores against the Jets when Zach Wilson was at quarterback because of how much he laid an egg in that spot. So the question is, do you think that's kind of a spot where he does that? And to me, the answer is no. I don't think this is a spot Flores lays an egg. This, to me, seems like a spot where Flores is going to come in. He knows all he has to do is keep Caleb Williams contained in the pocket and just make him uncomfortable, bring in some really wonky blitzes, and Williams will choke. And I could just see that happening. Meanwhile, Sam Darnold, Sam Pumpkin still exists, but did improve over the last 2 weeks beforehand. This, to me, this isn't my favorite of the week by any stretches. I just think that, if I'm picking a side, I'm going with the team that's won 4 straight against the Bears. I'm going with Kevin O'Connell, who has a history against Eberflus and has basically beaten him in the past. I'm not going to say he has a better offense, but I just think the other side is basically the Bears defense has to step up too. I think the Vikings defense is slightly better. I think the Vikings offense is slightly better right now. Maybe in 2 years it changes, but I just think for now, I'm going to go with the Vikings. But what you say makes 100% sense. I'm not going to completely fight you because I think the Bears for the spot, they just had their hearts broken. I don't know if this is a team that could completely rebound from it, though. Like last week with Denver, it was a Kansas City. Their hearts were broken. They're still a 5-5 team. They're still pretty good. And then they had the step down. I just think the Bears, they've already had 2 heartbreaking losses, one to Washington, and you expected a bounce back spot, and they were just a fucking dud against Arizona. And I'm just concerned we're going to get the same type of reaction.
Well,
like Caleb does not seem like a leader.
I will say the sacks allowed definitely does. When you look at like sack percentage, Chicago worst, Minnesota I think like 6th. So that definitely supports you. Sacks allowed per game.
They're third in sacks right now for the Vikings.
Yeah, so that supports you that Caleb Williams might be basically in the dirt getting sacked.
Yeah, that's my only concern. I will say, though, if Caleb has a counter for the Vikings, like for the blitz game against the Vikings, or for whatever reason Flores just decides, you know what, we're not going to sack, we're just going to play contain, then you're 100% right, the Bears are the play. Because I don't think Sam Pumpkin's going to outscore him per se. I just think this is a matter of defense versus defense, and I'm going to side with the Vikings in that spot. But, like I said, not a favorite play, and I will give out this. So I did update some stats. So we don't have any more international games. So instead, I kind of dove a little bit deeper into the divisional spots. So NFC divisional road favorites, 9-5 ATS, 11-3 straight up on the year. So that's a trend that favors the Vikings. But third road game, there hasn't been too many of those spots, and the Sharps haven't even really been able to find numbers for that either. But the ones I have heard, and again, I heard this through other podcasts, one from the Action Network, one from SJPN, teams on their third back-to-back-to-back road game, I hear is like a 40% clip in the last 20 years or something like that. So not exactly profitable either. So for me, this is a Vikings money line play and a parlay. I'll give out that team later in the episode. So I picked Vikings money line in an actual bet.
Okay, gotcha. I might honestly, I mean, at the 3.5, I might go Vikings money line. I could see. I don't know. God, this feels like a really bad spot for Minnesota. No, I think I'd go Bears money line. I have a feeling the Bears are gonna.
Look, bro. If the goal is winning money, you have to go with your heart at the end of the day. So
yeah,
we'll move on. We got another NFC matchup though. Not a divisional one though. We talked about the state of the Giants earlier in the episode, so now we're gonna get back into the game. The New Jersey Giants from East Rutherford are 5.5-point home underdogs now, plus 225 on the money line. Now being led by one Tommy Cutlets, a.k.a. Tommy DeVito. They're hosting Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are a minus 275 road favorite, minus 5.5. Over-under is 41.5 points. I really wasn't sure at the beginning of the episode if I was going to do this. And then I read this ESPN article yesterday. And it reads, and I quote, "New Giant starter Tommy DeVito trying to avoid fun and games." He says, and I quote, "Last year was a good story and all, how it happened. All the fun and games outside, it was fun. But that was last year. I'm sticking to football now. Not that I wasn't before." And with that said, this is my best bet of the week. I'm going with Tampa Bay Bucks, minus 5.5. Get this clown off the fucking TV. I'm already done. This prick can go. Guys, like, come on.
Really, like, no, I want to be serious. And Steve's like, oh, really? Fuck you.
Like, okay, first of all, your new QB1 is basically going to the media and saying, yeah, I really wasn't taking it seriously the whole time. I was just fucking around. But now I'm going to take it seriously. By the way, this guy was notified he was going to be QB1 on Monday. 4 days ago he was notified. Like, yeah, I'm going to be the starter now. He had to call his family and be like, hey guys, like, I have to lock in on football now. Like, I actually have to take my job seriously. Poor Drew Lock. If there is not sympathy for any other backup, I feel so bad for Drew Lock, who literally got hired and got paid like at QB2 with the expectation that if something were to happen, he's going to step in and play. And then all of a sudden he gets like, no, Drew, we love paying you to not work. We love paying you to stay on the sidelines and just like do practice squad drills. Like, here's your millions of dollars. Like, God.
This is not a practice squad safety.
Yeah, I guess.
At least not.
All right, guys, look. The Giants made Tommy DeVito a starter over Drew Lock. Again, people forget that Tommy DeVito got benched for Tyrod Taylor last year. Can we get real for a minute and realize that people are betting on Tommy DeVito under a touchdown? Like, that's the sharp side.
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito under a touchdown. So Tommy DeVito, his average passer rating was 89.2 in 6 starts, which admittedly is somehow better than Daniel Jones because he had 79.4. Daniel Jones had 7 picks this year. Tommy DeVito had 3 in his 6 starts, but he had 4 straight games without an interception. And he is 2-0 at home. But in those 2 wins, he beat Mac Jones and the New England Patriots in a game of 10-7, and a Monday Night Football Magic game of Green Bay 24-22, where it was a 2-minute drill to kick a game-winning field goal. It was also the only game where Tommy DeVito didn't take a sack, because that's his second favorite thing to do, next to his mother washing his goddamn laundry. My boy Cutlets over here, he loves getting sacked. He was sacked 37 times in his 9 game appearances last year. Let me say that again. 9 game appearances. He was sacked 37 times.
He played in 9 games last year.
He made 9 game appearances. 6 of them were starts.
Gotcha. Because he played in 9 games. Daniel Jones played in 10 this year. They both had 8 touchdown passes. Tommy DeVito had actually technically more touchdown passes than Daniel Jones.
That's unreal.
Daniel Jones should have been.
Now listen, the Tampa Bay Bucks, they have 0 sacks on the year, supposedly. I do think this is the catch-up spot. This Giants team, their O-line is still shit. They allow over 3.5 sacks a game on average. They've allowed 30 sacks to opponents just this year. And looking at Tommy DeVito's best game, that was his only game. He threw for over 200 passing yards. He threw for 3 touchdowns against the Commies that was led by a Ron Rivera and Sam Howell.
Oh, I remember that game. Well, I actually think, okay, so first off, endorse the Tampa play. I thought that the Giants might get a boost of energy with DeVito, and then I heard all the stories about how, like, the defensive players all were mad that he got benched, and I was like, nope. Tampa Bay coming off the bye, they need a win. Atlanta's.
Oh, don't forget, Mike Evans is returning.
Yeah, this is Tampa all the way. Actually, this too is this would be it's a 41.5, right? 41.5 over the week. Remember, Tampa Bay has no defense. The defense sucks. And I know the Giants pass defense has actually been okay. But I just feel like this is a perfect quick game for the Giants defense. I think this is a deadbolt over game. I already bet Baker Mayfield over 231 passing yards. With 231.5.
You said 231.5?
Yeah. I think Baker throws for 300 in this game, especially if Tommy Cutlets can get a score or 2.
Yeah, that sounds like money to me. Oh, Baker Mayfield ladder bet? Is that what I'm hearing?
I think he could get up to 300 in this game.
God, I'm not gonna lie, I'm falling in love with that.
349. Maybe the Mike Evans anytime too. First game back.
Oh yeah, I already played. You know what, I'm playing that now. I'm gonna play that now. Plus 130. That's plus money.
Well, he's coming back.
That is plus money. Mike Evans anytime touchdown.
Giants defense is good, but they haven't played a lot of good quarterbacks, and I think this Giants defense has quit written all over it. I think this
Baker Mayfield touchdown ladder. Listen to the Baker Mayfield touchdown ladder. They locked it at 3. To get 2 touchdowns is minus 120. To get 3 is plus 330.
Oh wow.
His passing yards is at 250 plus 155. That's a unit right there.
What's 300?
6-1.
I think I'm gonna have to throw. I think I'm gonna have to bet that.
This is what we call the ladder bet. The ladder bet is when we go to the alt yards and just hit every single one for half a unit, and
That's crazy. 6-1. I've seen Baker. If they have a 350, I'm betting that one too. Well, no, maybe 320. I have a feeling he's getting 349 passing yards in this game.
I gotta see. Do they even have it?
Can you
passing
not
attempts?
See the Baker Mayfield 340?
Bro, his pass attempts line is set at 31.5. But his yards is 230. This is Chewbacca. I'm calling it now.
This Giants defense is quitting.
Listen,
ladies and gentlemen, this is Chewbacca.
Why? With the book set a passing attempts line at over 30, but his passing yards at 230. Passing attempts 31, but yards
20 completions for like 200 yards. I'm not seeing it.
I'm not either. No, that's insane.
Okay, so hit your Baker Mayfield locks.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield is the lock. I love Tampa in the spot. This is a lock. Any other bets? Because everything you've been firing off has been like endorse.
No, that's it. That's it for this game. Over in Baker Mayfield, and I definitely think the Mike Evans is live. Oh, by the way, Mike Evans, 5 straight games against the New York Giants with a touchdown. I swear to God.
Oh, God. Am I going to do another live? You know what? I'm going to do a same game parlay now. Now I'm going to do it because now I'm going to do it. So let's do -6 on DraftKings, over 41. And let's just throw a Mike Evans touchdown. That's 5.5 to 1 on DK.
Considering the correlation, that's not horrible.
Yeah, why not? We'll throw a half unit on it. Let's see what happens. All right, we got to move on.
Yeah, we're moving.
God, I bet so much on Tampa. I'm not going to remember this shit. All right, moving on. It's the New England Patriots in a divisional spot on the road. They're catching 7, traveling to Miami, where witchy things happen for the Dolphins against this Pats team. They're -7, -375 on the money line. The Pats are a 3-1 road underdog. Over/under is 46.5. Miami's catching 67% of the bets, 77% of the money on the spread. And I believe it is Money Management's turn. So I've heard a couple sharps flip-flop on this one. This seems to be a key number of 7. Some 7.5 floating out there in the ethers if you want to reach for it. So,
yeah,
what are you thinking?
This Miami money line play to me. I really want nothing to do with the spread, especially after last week when New England literally kicked a field goal to lose by 6. I think Miami wins this game. I think they're the better team. They're trending in the right direction. I'm trying to look to see on the rankings if there's anything here nor there. Not really. Both teams have kind of been relatively mediocre, to tell you the truth. I think Miami's defense is probably better than New England's offense. I don't know. I think Miami's trending in the right direction. I think they get the win. The number for me is where I have a problem. I really don't want to F around with the 7 because I could just see this being like a Miami 4-point win, Miami 6-point win. I know sometimes they say in these spots, like remember, New England lost that game at the very end in New England against the backup quarterback. So I know sometimes they say that if a team loses close the first time, maybe they get revenge the second time. Miami does have a Thursday night football look ahead in Green Bay. So that's also another reason why.
Is that a Thanksgiving game?
Yeah, 8:20 Thursday, I think.
Is that the game? Who the fuck made this Thanksgiving schedule?
Yeah, 8:20 Thursday in Green Bay. And then don't forget we have our Black Friday game. Another
God.
Chiefs Raiders. Oh my God, I might have to go shopping this year. You know what?
Fuck that. I have to work.
I might actually go into work this year. Like
I have to work. I have to work.
Why are they making you work? Is Doge getting
They need someone as an acting supervisor.
Oh Jesus, that sucks.
And I didn't take off in time, so they basically were like, "Well, if you're not, can you be acting?" And I was like, "It's free money." That's how I'm treating it. It's free money.
I swear to God, like they're tempting me. I know the office is closed, but maybe I'll take a trip and go to work, read some emails,
call some clients.
Seriously, dear God. But anyway,
all right.
Nothing more for this game. I'm actually going to go Miami money line, Patriots spread. I just have a feeling, look ahead spot. Two teams that played close last time. I could see this being, like you said, a witchy game.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that normally never covers, let alone wins as a road underdog in the Patriots. Going up against a team that rarely ever covers as a home favorite. But Miami has at least covered 8 straight against the New England Patriots. I don't know if they necessarily make it 9. I think at 7, I'm going with Miami. At the 7.5, 8 hook, I lean New England, even though we all hate leans in the betting world. And by we, I mean the SGPN guys. They hate leans. So, I hate to say it. If the line is 7, my pick is New England. I'm not going to, fight one way or the other. That's where I'm going. Or not New England, Miami, excuse me. But I just think that if I bet Miami at this line, I'm going to wait and maybe get an alt spread, or I just wait on a live bet, depending on if Patriots get the ball first and start driving. The Patriots have covered 2 straight as road underdogs with Drake May, but looking at the spots, they beat up a Chicago Bears team who came off that Hail Mary game against Washington and had their worst offensive outing in forever. And they covered in a loss against the Tennessee Titans as 3.5-point dogs, and they lost in overtime when they had a chance to actually drive and win. And both of these teams are top 10 in terms of pass defense. Prior to this game, though, New England lost to Jacksonville.
Yeah, the last 4, though, they've been pretty decent. Drake May has been improving. God, the number.
The number is scary.
This feels like
Miami. I put Miami with a healthy Tua Tagovailoa. I put a healthy Miami over Chicago. I put them over Tennessee, which are the 2 teams that New England beat in terms of rankings. This is the same conundrum we ran into last week when Miami played the Raiders. We kind of asked ourselves the same thing. Do we really want to lay this number with a Miami team? And even though the Raiders held on close and it came down to the 4th quarter, Miami ended up just being the right side. They ended up fucking mollywhopping them at the end. I have a feeling it's going to be the same thing. So for if it were me, this is New England first half written all over. This is definitely Tua to throw an interception, because I think Tyreek Hill's wrist injury is still a consideration. Jalen Waddle has been non-existent in this game, so in this year. So I would definitely say New England. I don't know what the line is right now. I could look it up while Mansman gives his response, but I think New England can hang around till the fourth quarter, and then I just think Miami takes over and dominates once again. Or it's going to be a lot worse, and New England just fucking lays an egg, because, Miami could torch this defense if everybody's healthy. Miami minus 1.5 teaser leg, minus 1 teaser leg. Fucking love it. So I would endorse that personally. So.
As for me, ultimately I'll leave it with this. My go-to handicap, when in doubt, take the points. And I'm getting a lot of points to take, and I have serious doubts about this game. I actually think, again, Miami's been playing better, but I'm wondering if New England and Miami may be like similar. So when in doubt, take the points. I think New England's getting as many points as the Raiders, and I think I would have New England as a probably 3-point favorite on a neutral.
What was the end of the first half in the Dolphins-Raiders game? Do you know?
I'll take a look at that while you.
Oh, I got it up here. Anyways, Dolphins-Patriots first half is 4.5 right now. Split down the middle at minus 110. If I had to choose, I would choose New England because I could just see that 4 points being the hook. Like 14-10.
10-6 Dolphins.
Yeah, 10-6 Dolphins. I could see that happening. At the end of the first half, it was 6-10. Literally, it was 6-10 Raiders-Dolphins. So, yeah, I would say New England first half. I think I'm going to do that as a live bet. Honestly, I think I might do that.
Oh, interesting. Bold.
It's bold, but I mean, I just think I don't know if I want to play end game result on this one personally. I think I'd rather. I think I'd take New England first half and just let it go.
Okay.
Let's see here. Yeah, we'll throw a little over unit. That's okay. All right, next up, it is the Tennessee Titans catching 7.5 as a division road underdog. They're plus 310 on the money line. They are traveling to the Houston Texans, who are laying 7.5 now, minus 390 on the money line according to FanDuel. Over-under is 40.5 points on the total. Houston, 80% of the bets, 83% of the money. Titans are the worst ATS team of all teams on the year. They're 1-8-1 ATS. They're 2-8 straight up. Mansman, are you laying this many points with CJ Stroud? Or is it no, it's my turn, I think, but
oh, it's your turn. Okay. What do you
maybe. Oh God, am I gonna
Oh boy.
give us you know what? Let me defer. I'll go 2 in a row. I'm gonna defer. Give me your spot. I'll be right back. Just bear with me.
Okay. All right. For this one, it's a real simple. I've already put in my Will Levis anytime interception. Just keeps going up. It's minus 190 now. Just keeps going up. Will Levis interception. This is Texans or nothing. The Texans defense is clearly better than the Titans offense. The Titans are terrible. I really have no faith in them to do much of anything, really. Trying to see here, Houston, do they have any look-ahead spot? I think they might be going on the bye. Oh, they play Jacksonville next week, so there's no look-ahead spot. No real concerns there. Tennessee's basically been getting destroyed by every opponent. There's only one way to look in this game. It's Texans or nothing. These are the teams the Texans beat up on, and I think they're going to do it here as well.
Gotcha.
Looking at the turnovers. Oh, by the way, to back up my Will Levis interception, interception percentage thrown for Tennessee, 32. Interceptions on defense, Houston, number 2. In the alternative, CJ Stroud, Houston's offense, 12th in throwing interceptions. Tennessee, one of the worst teams getting interceptions. So, again, the Will Levis interception prop is alive and well. in the Mansman household. Play that prop wherever you bet your sport. And Big Bucks, meanwhile, is off camera.
I'm here. Sorry.
I don't know what
All
he's
right.
doing.
I had to prep for Doomsday. I'm going to do this. I hate that I'm doing this, but
No.
I got to do it.
Oh, no.
Hang on. I got to make a hole so I can see. Just so I can see my notes. But here we go. This is definitely going to be my fade of the week. I'm taking the Titans plus the points.
Jenny bet immediately.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'll do the incinerator bet. I'll eat it.
Fuck, why? But why? What is 10? Okay, what's your handicap? Why?
I don't think Houston's that good. That's really what this comes down to.
What are you betting on?
I'm betting on CJ Stroud laying an egg as a big favorite at home. And you know me, I don't mind betting on CJ Stroud. I don't mind betting on him as an underdog. I hate betting on CJ Stroud as a favorite. A big favorite at that.
Didn't you bet Dallas too?
No, I picked Dallas for the sake of the episode. I didn't bet it, though, because I had a bad feeling about it.
Well, let's see. Tennessee on offense, 29th in pass yards a game. Houston's defense, 6th.
God damn it, Jason.
18th in...
Are you going to do it? Really? Can I give my handicap yet? Or is...
18th in rushing. I haven't heard your handy. I said, why are you betting on...
So, here's the problem.
What are you
I hate the idea of laying 7.5 with CJ Stroud at home on a short week after they've been smelling themselves after what was realistically a second half romp. Really a rally. I call it a romp. Second half romp against a really bad Cowboys team. The Texans have never beaten anyone at home by more than 6 this year. And Tennessee, don't get me wrong, I understand they should be on auto fade. They're very bad. I don't discredit that. But they had one fluky win overtime against the Patriots. They are the worst ATS team. Here's my argument in favor of Tennessee. They had, there's been a slight dead cat bounce with Will Levis. He's been slightly better on offense. And by that, I mean he's not turning the ball over as much. He's 127 and an 84 QBR in his last 2 starts. He's only had 1 turnover in each of those games rather than having multiple turnovers back to back. And for a Brian Flores defense that we love to taunt in this game, in this handicap, or in this episode, I guess, he almost threw for 300 yards against Brian Flores. I just don't think the Texans defense is going to be that good. I think Ladarius Sneed is injured and he may not be playing in this game. That's a big concern I have. I just also am not impressed with CJ Stroud this year. I am not fucking sold on this fucking guy. I think he's in the big sophomore slump. CJ Stroud on a normal offensive drive on Monday Night Football really didn't do shit. But the minute that the Texans turned the ball over on Dallas and they were in fucking range, they finally performed. And really, when I say they, I mean Joe Mixon. That's the key. I think if the Tennessee Titans find a way to stop Joe Mixon on the ground, and you're putting CJ Stroud up against the wall, you make him pass, I think he's going to crumble. The game against the Lions for the Texans was telling. The fact that the Texans, on their best defensive performance, got 5 interceptions, they still lost that game. And Stroud only threw for 1 touchdown in that spot instead of the 5 he probably should have. Meanwhile, last week against Dallas, didn't throw for a touchdown at all. And CJ Stroud had a QBR of 51.6 on ESPN. That was his best QBR on ESPN, by the way, since he played Indy. Lately, he has not been good. That's my problem. This is Stroud is going downhill. Will Levis, slightly better. And I'm wearing the bag because I already know if this goes tits up, I don't want to have to do this in the fucking recap. I'll just come on and be like, yep, I was wrong. That's it.
So, you talked about turnovers. Tennessee turnover margin a game, minus 1.1. That's 30th in the league.
Correct. If you look at the overall season, you're 100% right.
Okay,
If you look at the last 2 games since Will Levis started, there's a significant difference.
Houston's turnover margin plus 0.7. That's 6th in the league. Interceptions, we've talked about it already. Tennessee, worst in the league. Houston's defense, 2nd in the league in forcing interceptions.
All right, here's the question. If we do a Cine, will you give me the 8?
What's the market number now? Oh, it's 8 on DK. That's fine.
It's 8 on DK minus 110.
That's
I
fine.
think. You'll do it? All right.
I'll be nice. It's only
Appreciate that.
It could it be?
Yeah, look, I'm not saying the Titans will
I have
win.
a feeling this is going to be a game we're both going to do incinerator because like Tennessee's going to suck, but then Houston's going to suck just as bad, and we're both going to do it. I just. I mean, there's no reason
All
to
right.
bet fucking.
I'm taking the bag off at this last point. Last point I'll make. This was the Sharps' darling, the Titans. Like, they loved betting the Titans, and every week they lost. This is like the one week they're like, now we're off. We're done. Forget about it. And I'm like, and this is the one week where I was like, actually, if they made an argument, I would believe it. But
see,
because I think that
it was like a bad spot. Like the problem is Houston plays Jacksonville next week. Like, there's no spot. There's no.
Yeah, back-to-back divisional spots, I guess.
It's like there's really no. Houston's at home, so it's not a back-to-back road spot. It was Monday Night Football, but they won easy, so it wasn't like they. I don't know.
That's the problem. They won so easily, despite the fact that C.J. Stroud kind of sucked.
Yeah, well, good luck, man.
I mean, that's my problem. I mean, let me look at the rushing stats real quick because I have it up here. So, rushing yards allowed on defense. Titans look like are. Oh, come on. I have stats. Where's rankings? 11th in the league. Not what you want. Rushing touchdowns allowed. It looks like the Titans are. Let's scroll. Oh, yeah, they allow a lot of touchdowns. So, all right, maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
Buddy. We'll see. All right, next.
We'll see. Next game. Moving on. I wore the bag. Punishment has been served. Kansas City minus 10.5, minus 700 on the money line. They're traveling to Carolina, coming off of the bye, coming off of the Germany game. 10.5 point home dogs, plus 500 on the money line. KC getting 90% of the money and 84% of the bets, but a lot of the sharps I've heard all over this Carolina Panthers team. I believe it's my turn to go because you went 2 in a row.
Yep.
This, to me, I said this 2 weeks ago. I'm not deviating now. I said this. I'm going to say it again. This is Kansas City or nothing. They probably, listen, everyone's probably heard that Mahomes is 0-3-1 ATS as a road favorite of 10 or more. I'm going to stick to my guns here, though, and I think this is a smash spot for Kansas City, primarily because they lost to Buffalo. Look, you want to take the Panthers because they've won 2 straight. You want to back them with double digits. I've heard of worse bets. I've also heard of better bets, too, than taking Bryce Young to beat Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco most likely returning with Kareem Hunt, when the Panthers still have arguably the worst defense in the league. Chiefs are 7-1 ATS in non-conference road spots since 2022. Going back to 2019, Chiefs are 11-4 ATS and 13-2 straight up as non-conference road teams. They were on a tough 3-game skid where they had back-to-back close games with Tampa in overtime. They barely beat the Broncos because of that blocked field goal. They lost to the Bills because of Josh Allen running down the field with 40 yards, which was amazing. I think the parts we're missing are that not Tampa, but the Broncos defense, as tough as they are, prior to Buffalo, who is also admittedly a tough defense. Now you're going to the Panthers. They're getting off on themselves by beating Dennis Allen's New Orleans Saints and Daniel Jones.
Who's now caught?
This is like second fade of the week, truth be told. Like, the Panthers are probably smelling themselves. Bryce Young probably thinks he's a real NFL quarterback. Never been wrong about a pick before, and I'm not about to backtrack now and be like, oh, no, I was really right. No, I was wrong. He's not that good. He's not going to beat the Chiefs. They're not even going to be close, truth be told. I heard a sharp say that you should take the Panthers plus first half, and I'm not about it. I just think this is smash spot Kansas City or nothing. So I'm going with the Chiefs here, with the 10.5.
This, I'm not going to go long on this one. This is a get right spot for Kansas City. Big drop in class, and you look at it too. The Chiefs' defense, they've primarily been struggling against the pass. They've been good against the run. Well, you went.
What's the one thing that Carolina can do?
Run the ball, not pass. Can't pass.
You're right.
So you played Josh Allen, you played Bo Nix, you played Baker Mayfield. Now you're playing an XFL quarterback. Yeah, this is the right spot for Kansas City. Kansas City or nothing. The number is high, though. I get it. The number is high, but Kansas City or nothing.
All right. Next up, this one's going to be fairly quick. Dallas Cowboys, 10.5-point road dogs, 4-1 on the money line. They're going to the Washington Commies against Jaden Daniels, coming off the Thursday Night Football loss. Laying 10.5 minus 520. Total is 44.5. Obviously, the money and the bets are on Washington. Mansman, can I interest you in any handicap here, or can we move on?
Replay the handicap from last one. It's Commanders or nothing. Dallas is a disaster. Washington, tough loss in a big game. This get right spot for Washington, who's not played that well. Only one way to look in this game. It's Washington or nothing.
Dallas is now... God damn, Rush. Jesus Christ. My dog just loves fucking slamming bones on the ground. Dallas is on auto fade. They've lost and failed to cover more than 3 games. Until they do one or the other, they're not bettable. Commanders are nothing. Moving on.
Yep.
That was easy. All right. Finally, last 1 o'clock game. It's the Detroit Lions laying 7.5 on the road, minus 375. Going to Indianapolis, another dome team, plus 7.5, plus 300 on the money line. Over under is 50.5. Detroit's getting 85% of the money, 86% of the bets. This is the Sharps' darling. Why? Why is Anthony Richardson all of a sudden a bettable quarterback in this fucking league? Can somebody tell me? Literally, every Sharp podcast I've listened to, well, Detroit doesn't need this win. They're a non-conference road favorite. They didn't do so good against the Texans. This is a bad spot. Fuck. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm dating the Sharps, though. I don't fucking care. I'm not taking the Colts at a 7.5 in good conscience. I'm not going to ignore how Shane Steichen is 2-7 straight up as a home underdog. I'm not going to ignore how this Lions team massacred the Titans and the Jaguars, their AFC South divisional rivals. Now, the Texans, a bit of a different story. They still won that game. And that was literally after he threw 5 fucking interceptions. Literally worst game imaginable for Jared Goff. A game he should have lost. But because CJ Stroud can't do shit, they won the game. Even hypothetically meeting in the middle, there's no way Anthony Richardson has 2 great weeks. And that the Colts have another chance to blow a 13-point lead. If they even get a lead at all against this Lions team.
Remember,
the Lions have a Thanksgiving look ahead. They don't need this game. When the fuck has Dan Campbell cared about anything other than the team in front of him?
By the way, remember, this was the team that put up a 50-burger against Jacksonville last week.
How many points did they put up against Tennessee?
50-burger.
Thank you. Do you know how hard they have to try on offense to do that?
Indy's defense is bad enough. This could be a 40 burger.
Oh yeah.
Be a 40. They're good at getting interceptions too. So Richardson may.
Well, they're non-conference favorites. This is the only trend that actually scares me because NFC non-conference faves are only 2-4 ATS. Undefeated straight up though. Last week's the only.
Colts 5 straight failed covers against the NFC as underdogs.
Thank you. But let's resort to power rankings. That's something the Sharps love to do. Power rankings. How are the Colts only 7 points worse than the Lions? If the Lions are a number 2 team, by that math, are the Colts like a top 10 team? Top 12? No. I don't think so. I don't think they're even close to.
They almost lost to the Jets. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not a Super Bowl, but that was Anthony Richardson's Super Bowl, in my opinion. I mean, I have this at like 10-12. I would say their defense 12 points worse, if you ask me. This is my over game, second over game. It's not my over of the week, but this is an over game for me. Like, if all else fails, if you're still worried about the spread, just bet over 50.5 here because, like you said, I think the Lions could get 40 on their own. And in the 9 games that the Colts were home underdogs under Shane Steichen, the over hit in 7 of those 9. And either way you look at it, it's like you said, the Lions put up that 40 burger, or Richardson's going to keep up, and this is going to be a back-and-forth shootout, where I think both teams get 25, and then somebody has to get the 26, 27, 28. Call it a day. So, yeah, not Lions or nothing. This is like a clear line spot. Don't know why the Sharps are so afraid. It makes no sense to me. This is not a good team. I'd be more scared next week when they have to play the Bears on Thanksgiving, a spot they always fucking seem to like let down.
Yeah, especially haven't the Bears had a good record against the Lions on
the Lions just suck on Thanksgiving. We don't know why. It's like the same with the Cowboys. Like for some reason, they're just no good.
Oh yeah, that Family Guy meme. Shouldn't you guys be what's that meme? I forgot.
Shouldn't you guys be losing a Super Bowl or something?
Oh no, shouldn't you guys be losing a game on Thanksgiving when he's in the lion cage? Yeah. Endorse. I agree. Endorse. Not back in Richardson. So moving on. Next.
Moving on, 4:00 slate. We're into the rapid fire round. Denver Broncos laying 5.5 on the road, -260. Going to the Las Vegas Raiders, 215 money line, plus 5.5. Over under is 41.5. Broncos are a big public team, 91% of the money, 84% of the bets. Big sharp team too, by the way. Mansman, your old man was a big Raiders fan. Don't know what he would think about this team now, but usually you're the Raiders backer in this spot, so I'm actually very intrigued to hear what your opinion is in this game.
The Denver Broncos have now. Oh, I missed that stat already. The Denver Broncos. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute, though.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So that's 8 straight they've lost against the Raiders on the road.
The Denver Broncos have never beaten the Las Vegas Raiders in Vegas until this weekend. No, I think the Raiders are done. They have no offense. The defense is crumbling. They're no good. Denver needs it. I told you. Denver, this is a big game. They need to win games like this. The Raiders have a look ahead to the Chiefs. Maybe that's their game. Black Friday, they're going to try and maybe salvage something. I have no hope for the Raiders in this game. There's not really much of a handicap here. I just think the Broncos are the better team. The Broncos, if you're serious about making the playoffs, these are the types of games you got to win. The Raiders are not a good team. They really have no business. Being in this game. I have no faith in this Vegas offense to move the ball against Denver. So I think this is 100% Denver or nothing. And to me, I like Denver here. Actually, almost this my second. This was either my second or third. Almost made it as my best bet.
Damn.
The Denver Broncos.
Yeah, Denver's actually one of the best ATS teams on the air. They're 5-1 ATS on the road. Listen, just think of it the last game. They were down 10-0. They beat the Raiders on defense alone at home.
Yeah.
I don't think I need Denver to cover more than a touchdown here last I checked. I just need them to cover 6. The Raiders lose by an average of 10 points or more. And the point margin of their losses, it's 5-19 this year. Only 2 of those losses were under 10. And Denver, like, they beat up the NFC South, and I'm, like, hesitant because everybody's, like, harping on Denver. Well, Bo Nix should be Rookie of the Year now, and Denver's really good because look how they did against the Atlanta Falcons. And it's like, well, you have to remember Sean Payton, he was the NFC South killer in the NFC South with the Saints and Drew Brees. He knows these franchises well. After that, he beat the Raiders and the Jets, and those are their wins this year. Not the most impressive resume. I wouldn't say hammer the Broncos every week, but look, Raiders are pretty much in tank mode. I was way ahead of the curve on this Broncos team. I just think that this is the spot where, like, you're kind of getting close to the peak. This is the spot where, like, you have to wonder, is this the Broncos peak, or is this, like, the last game where they definitely peak? And then the week after, you have to start fading them. The Raiders were supposed to look better on offense with this new offensive regime and a dead cat bounce. That dead cat bounce turned into a thud, into a trash can with how shitty and pathetic this organization is. Denver all the way. Raiders are on auto fade. Here, however, though, like, I will say, like, if you're not confident either way, like I said, last game I was like, if you're not confident in the spread, just bet the over. But it's not my over of the week. I'm going to say the same thing here. If you're not confident in the spread, that's fine. Hammer the over, though, in my over of the week. Over 41.5 points here. I truthfully believe Bo Nix and the Broncos, like, if everything goes perfect, they're going to get 42 on their own. You're in a dome, 2 teams that are, like, 2 asinine teams that are in a dome. The Raiders are dead last in turnovers. They are 28th in points allowed. They're tied for 26 in passing touchdowns allowed. They're tied for 26 in rushing touchdowns. 65% in red zone percentages, putting them at 28th. This Raiders team just loves to give up points on defense. If they get Bo Nix time in the pocket, he's just going to tear them up like they did in the Atlanta game. But also, if you have to think about it, if you like the Raiders, it's not going to be an under game. It's going to be Gardner Minshew shines in the light. Gardner Minshew has a fucking breakout game against Denver. Pat Surtain gets hurt for some reason. Like, that's the only way I can think of it. So
Raiders to me are like the Titans right now on the auto fade. Like, there's just nothing to like about them. The defense isn't that good. Their offense sucks. They can't run the ball. They turn the ball over. Like, the Raiders are not a winning team. Denver needs to win this game, and I think they will.
Fair enough. Moving on, we got the San Francisco 49ers. They are now catching 5.5 points on the road. They are 2-1 road dog traveling to Green Bay, laying the 5.5 minus 245. The over-under is now 44.5 points. With the breaking news, Brock Purdy out for the game. Brendan Allen in. Oh boy. What a mess of a game. Am I still back to back? No, I think it's your turn finally. Mansman, I need your help. Here's why. Let me tell you why.
Why?
I have a couple futures tickets on the line.
Oh, boy.
I have a San Francisco over 11.5 wins. Unit and a half ticket. They have to win out the rest of the season, which I know is not going to happen. The question is, when do I hedge it? Is this the spot where I have to hedge it now? Or do I wait?
Probably. Yeah, I think so. God, I hate it. Another week on Green Bay, but God, Green Bay gets a lot of breaks. Okay, Brock Purdy isn't good. Do I have faith in Brendan Allen to perform well on the road? No.
Nope.
It makes me actually more likely to think that Miami might do well next week. Maybe Green Bay will have a little bit of a letdown spot. Like, think about it. Normally, I back San Fran coming off a big loss, but I'm pretty sure San Fran back-to-back road spots, right? Because they lost in Seattle. So
Yep.
it's back-to-back road spots.
No, they lost at home.
Were you sure that wasn't a road?
Yeah, they were at home.
Oh, they lost at home. Oh, God. Okay, so not back-to-back road spot. I don't know. Normally, this would be a spot. San Francisco loses a tough game. You'd back them. But I don't know. I don't really have a lot of faith in Brendan Allen or whatever the hell his name is to do anything in this game. This is just a really, really fucked up situation. I might avoid this game entirely. I have to look Green Bay or nothing. I think Green Bay is going to win. This is the type of game Green Bay wins. They'll probably win by 4, though. I mean, let's be honest. It's Green Bay. They got lucky to win last week. Both teams are kind of on a fade for me. So Green Bay or nothing, but I'm probably going to be very cautious in betting a lot on this game.
All right. I don't have much of a handicap here because I waited so long. I am purely doing this for our contest specifically with our caser, and I am doing it for nothing else. I'm going San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Green Bay, Jordan Love isn't that good.
I agree with that completely.
This line opened at San Francisco -2. We're now +5.5. I don't know if Brock Purdy in and of himself is worth a line movement, but they still got Christian McCaffrey. George Kittle should still be active. Deebo Samuel, I think, is questionable. I'd have to double check, but the bottom line is that I think San Francisco keeps this close enough, and I think we're getting value just on the points. And in a Kyle Shanahan specific system, plug and play your random white quarterback and you'll be fine. I hate to put it like that, but it's the truth. Like, literally,
get it on the hook. They'll probably lose by 5.
Yeah, literally, in Kyle Shanahan, it's a plug and play. It doesn't matter who you are. It's like you should treat it the same. I'm not saying like Brandon Allen is the GOAT now, but when has it mattered who it was in that spot? Like, we literally said the same thing with Jordan Mason, Elijah Mitchell when Christian McCaffrey got hurt. They still fucking got 100 yards rushing, still got a touchdown, still led the offense. Said the same thing with tight end when Juwan Jenkins came in. Didn't matter. Every wide receiver that's come in, Ricky Pearsall, who literally got shot, he's getting touchdowns. Now, admittedly, the San Francisco 49ers, they're not performing well this year. This is actually like a very big down year. I was on them at 3.5 when I thought it was Purdy. I guess 2.5 makes sense in terms of the book. Like, there's some math behind why they didn't jump to the 4. Like, I like the Niners at 3.5. I should like them at 5.5, even if it is a backup. And I think the point value makes sense. Like, if it's only a 2-point difference, okay, it's a plug and play kind of thing. It's not like a 10-point difference. When you're getting, like, say Trevor Lawrence gets hurt and he's out, what was the point difference spread then? Like, wasn't it like a 6-point difference at that point? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I guess
Brandon Allen isn't horrible.
We'll find out. I mean, that's the honest truth. We'll find out.
Arnold, I'd be a lot more confident.
I wouldn't go running to the books being like, sports bookies, here's my wallet, take it on Brendan Allen, throw all that. No, I wouldn't do that. Green Bay hasn't covered at home all year, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't cover 2.5 against the Texans. They didn't cover 3.5 against the Jags. Why would I take them 5.5 to cover against a Brendan Allen? Not me.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. All right. Last 4 o'clock game. It's Last 4 o'clock game, it is the Arizona Cardinals. Currently as a 1.5 point road favorite, but the 1.5 is plus 100. Minus 108 pick 'em on the money line. Seattle plus 1.5. Over under is set 47.5 points. Currently, the tickets are leaning towards Arizona, 63% of the money, 58% of the bets. Okay, Money Mansman, give us your thoughts on this NFC West, your favorite NFC division game.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Is that true? I see on DK Arizona +1.
It depends on the book. So in the Distinguished DeGents podcast, we give out FanDuel odds.
Oh.
So Arizona is minus 1.5, but it's plus 100. But it's a minus 108 pick 'em on the money line.
Okay. Well, I think you know me. You know I hate Arizona.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for a spot to do this. My best bet of the week, not Midget Boy. Mr.
Really?
Kyler Murray. Mr. Murray, Esquire. The Honorable Kyler Murray. Give me the Arizona Cardinals. Coming off the bye, on the road. Seattle just won their Super Bowl. They beat the Niners on a last-second touchdown. And look, I think the Cardinals are, and this was, I think Steve Fezzik was on the Cardinals too, and he gave a great handicap, which I liked. He was like, the Cardinals are just the better team. I think Arizona's the better team in this game. I think it was Steve Fezzik. I think Arizona's the better team in this game. I think Seattle's home field has not been as great. And you look at you kind of look at the numbers, and Seattle's rush defense has been dreadful. Arizona's going to have a block. And you look at like Arizona's defense, they've been middle of the pack. I think it's going to be close. It's a division game, NFC West, but I think the Cardinals are the better team. And if you could get them as plus a point, that's road team favorite. Arizona should be the favorite. Give me Arizona. Not my fade of the week, my best bet of the week.
Oh, my bad. Let me fix that. That's your best bet.
My best bet. Not on Midget Boy. Those days are over. Mr. Honorable Kyler Murray, Esquire.
Hold on. I got to type that out. Mr. Honorable Murray Esquire.
What's his middle name? Hold on. He needs his middle initial. Hold on.
He's going to look that up.
Yep. Got to look up his middle name. Cole. So that's his middle. Oh my God. It makes me want to pull this. Kyler Cole Murray. That is his fucking name. The Mr. Honorable Kyler C. Murray, Esquire.
Mr. Honorable Kyler Cole Murray, Esquire. Oh, boy. All right. You're going to have to tell me if I can get away with this. Because FanDuel odds say they're the favorite, but you said DK was what?
DK, they're +1, minus 115.
Oh, boy. Okay. You're going to tell me if I can get away with this or not, because this is a never before thing that's happened on this episode. This was my dog of the week. When they were +1.5.
Dear God.
I mean, here we go. Ready? This is the
Ladies and
handicap.
gentlemen, this is Chewbacca.
That's the handicap. Why are the Seattle Seahawks laying 1.5 when they realistically should be an underdog? You have to call Chewbacca. What do we do in the Chewbacca situations, Money Mansman?
You bet the fucking shit out of
You
it.
bet the fucking shit out of the other side. And that's what this was. Like, Why are the Seattle Seahawks a home favorite against the 6-4 Arizona Cardinals? Why? I'll tell you why. I don't know. Doesn't make sense. The fact that Geno Smith is undefeated against the Cardinals, it should be impressive, but I'm not impressed. In fact, I haven't been
different team.
I haven't been impressed with Geno Smith all fucking year. I haven't been impressed with the Seattle Seahawks all fucking year. And I know the stats don't support Kyler Murray in this spot throughout his career, but this is a whole different Cardinals team. I mean, that's the thing. Like, when you look at a spot in a divisional thing, especially, you have to ask yourself, well, what's changed in the spot? What has significantly changed? The way the Cardinals are operating has significantly changed enough where they're operating so much better. Where you're right, they do pound the rock. They do emphasize the run. But they're operating better. But really, for me, the Cardinals' defense, so much better than what we're used to in the past. 11th in points per game allowed. 8th in passing touchdowns allowed. They held the Chargers on Monday Night Football to 15. No touchdowns. They held the Jets and Aaron Rodgers 6 points. No touchdowns. They held the fucking Chicago Bears and that offense 9 points. No touchdowns. The only team to score against this Arizona Cardinals defense in 4 weeks was the Miami Dolphins.
You look at
that's unreal.
They lost to some good teams. Like, they have 4 losses, but basically they lost to 4 of the top 10 teams in football: Detroit, Washington, Green Bay, Buffalo. Those are the 4 losses. I mean, they're, all playoff teams.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if I get away with this being my dog of the week. If not, I have a backup ready to go, but this was my dog of the week when it was a dog line.
Because it's my best bet in your dog, so we'll just keep it.
Yeah, it's so weird.
That's kind of funny. We'll just keep it that way.
But I already gave out my best bet. That's the problem. Like, I can't have, 2 favorites and 2 best bets of the week.
This will be your cop-out dog of the week.
Yeah, cop-out dog. I have another one back up just in case. But we'll go on to Sunday Night Football. It's the Philadelphia Eagles laying 2.5 on the road at -120. They're -146 on the money line. Traveling to the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi Stadium, catching 2.5 plus 124 over-unders 48.5. Eagles getting 81% of the bets, 78% of the bets, but 81% of the money on FanDuel. Eagles have won 5 straight. Rams have won 4 of their last 5. Eagles, though, 8-2 straight up, 6-4 ATS. Rams 4-6 ATS. Not much of an over-under difference, though. All right, I know there's a sharp angle for this game. Mansman, I have a side. I'm very, 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 very easily swayed, if you would say.
I was going to say, you're not going to get a sharp handicap from me in this game because I feel like the sharps are probably on the Rams. I'm not. I think the Rams are a mediocre team, and I think the Eagles.
They're on the Eagles.
Oh, see, that's okay. I feel better now. Yeah, the Rams are a mediocre team. We saw it last week. They're not great. This Eagles team essentially does everything better. Their defense is better than the Rams' offense. Running the ball, I don't know how the Rams are going to stop the Eagles from running. Eagles are coming off a long rest to Sunday Night Football. There's no real spots or anything that really stand out to me. I just think the Eagles are the better team, and this is less than a field goal. It's like 2.5 or maybe 3 points now. This, to me, the Eagles are nothing. I don't think you overreact. I don't think you look too much into it. I think the Eagles are the better team by far. The Rams are mediocre. I think you just play the Eagles and you call it a day.
Gotcha. God, am I getting the number right? No, I'm not getting the number right. Oh, boy. Okay, so I said I had a secondary dog in case the first one wasn't good enough. This is my secondary dog. I'm going Rams.
Oh, wow.
Plus 124.
We're going heads up on like all these.
Now, mind you, I will say this. Oh, fuck, I didn't even give out the number. Like, Okay, shit. So I'll wait till the end of the episode. This to me is a trap game. Kind of for the reasons you say. It's like, well, the Rams are mediocre. I just think the Eagles are better. I don't like the way the Eagles have been playing. To me, these are like an East Coast, West Coast version of the same team. Except one quarterback is a lot older and not able to...
That's a ridiculous take.
No. The defenses are the difference. And I will say the Eagles' defense and their secondary has been performing a lot better as of late. My thinking is that Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, they're a lot more physical of receivers than what they've gone up against lately. Kyron Williams on the running back, I think, is a lot more of a threat compared to Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson and whoever the fuck else the Eagles have gone up against lately. And the Eagles really haven't looked good up until the second half. For me, like, Rams' first half is more of a lock than the money line or the spread, truth be told. I don't like East Coast teams going to West Coast. I don't like the Eagles coming off of the late rest, then having to travel against a Rams team that was just on the East Coast. So really, to me, I don't know if there's a significant difference there. Like, I don't think the Eagles team is really as good as everybody makes them out to be. I don't think Jalen Hurts is performing as well as he has been. This, to me, just seems like we've already hit his peak when it was the Washington game. His peak was a fourth quarter romp. And I just think Matt Stafford, as long as the Eagles don't really bring the blitz, which they haven't really been perfect on, if I'm not mistaken. But, I mean, I'll double check here. Eagles look like am I scrolling too far? Yeah, I think I scrolled too far. Yeah, they're 12th. They're like tied with 15th. They're tied with Washington and the Saints. Like, not the most impressive. The Rams, though, on the other hand, on the defensive side, they got 16 sacks on the year. They're tied they are 11th. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just think this is a tale of two teams. I think they're a lot more equal than people give them credit for. And I just side with the home team in this spot. In a game where I really think it should be a pick'em, or like a 1.5, maybe 2. And the point value is just wrong. So,
well, I can respect it. When in doubt, bet the dog. I don't know. I think the Eagles' run game, I don't know how the Rams are going to stop that. I don't think the Rams are really that good anywhere. I think they're mediocre.
Yeah, I don't think the Eagles are that much better either. That's my problem. It's not that, like, it's not anything against your Rams take. I think it's just more of like, I don't think the Eagles are that good.
I guess the tough thing is the NFC East really has not played anybody. Like, you look at the Eagles' schedule, it's not good either.
No. And what are the Eagles going to do when they come up against like a playoff contending team? That's my question.
Well, we'll find out next week when they play the Ravens, the NFC killer.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of, let's end the episode. Speaking of Ravens, Monday Night Football going on the SoFi Stadium. The game after, they're going up against the LA Chargers, though. They're laying 3 on the road, -148 in the Harbaugh Bowl. Jim versus John. LA Chargers are catching 3, +126 on the money line. The over-under is 50.5. Baltimore is getting 60% of the money. 64% of the bets. Here we go. Here's my handicap. Fade primetime Lamar at your own peril. I know Harbaugh versus Harbaugh is the headline, but it really is the Greg Roman special. Because the problem is, you're either taking one team who knows Greg Roman very well, and I feel like they're going to take full advantage of that. They're going to know how to play against him. Or you're going to take the side that has Greg Roman against the team that knows who the personnel is on the other side. And, that's really it. Do you take the guy who knows the other team, or do you take the team that knows the other guy? And through transitive property, the Bengals last week just lost to the Chargers in what should have been a comeback win, but was a loss. Well, that Bengals team lost to the Ravens twice in a close game. Lamar Jackson, 3-0 straight up against the Chargers. 2 of those wins against Justin Herbert. Lamar is 5-1 straight up on Monday Night Football on the road. Herbert just lost on Monday Night Football to the Arizona Cardinals. And Justin Herbert is a home dog. 1-9 straight up, 4-5-1 ATS since 2020. He's won 3-1 ATS in his last 5. I know some sharps are leaning on the number of 3. They're saying Justin Tucker's no good, which I think he's plateaued or he's sinking. I think it's true. 3 or less, I'm hammering the Ravens. There's no other thought, comment, or concern. In a primetime spot, too, like, I'm going with the guy who's been in the NFL versus the guy that, like, for fucking years on end, choked in the big game, choked under the spotlight until he fucking had controversy. You know what I mean? Like, I just... Especially after he came off a big primetime game where he had the comeback win. Don't know if he... This seems like a no-show for the Chargers to me. I could just see Ravens fucking rolling this Chargers team, truth be told. I'd be looking at Chargers team total under, in all honesty.
Gotcha. Now, I have to say, though, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Lamar better in primetime at home, especially Sunday Night Football? Am I wrong about that?
He's better against the NFC.
Well, that I know. I thought even in primetime, though, I thought it was his home primetime record was better.
Yeah, at home he's a lot better than on the road. But I think that road spot, it literally leads to Kansas City, and I think 1 spot against the Raiders.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have a fade of the week. And honestly, my fade of the week could be against either team because both the Ravens are still taking a ton of money. Chargers, on the other hand, all of a sudden, they look like a playoff team. Well, I'm going to fade Coach Harbaugh here. So
Funny.
Fade of the week, Chargers +3. I'm fading on Lamar. Yeah, maybe I'm still bitter about that Bills game. That's probably what it is. No, here's my big thing in this game. What I think the big thing is. The Ravens' pass defense has just got awful.
They're bad.
It's one of those when in doubt, take the points games. I think I think both teams are going to know each other pretty well. It's going to be a nip and tuck game. And don't discount the fact that the Ravens came off a really physical, tough game against the Steelers. And like we saw with Pittsburgh, I think that could pay dividends this week. I think, yeah, if Baltimore is playing in Baltimore, I don't think I'm taking the Chargers. But the fact that it's at SoFi, I don't really like this Ravens team on the road that much. It's technically going to be like a 5 o'clock game because they're out west. When in doubt, take the points. I think the Chargers are well coached. I know they haven't been great as underdogs, but I think they got a shot to keep this close. I think it's going to be a close game. Fade of the week. I'm tired of Baltimore. Tired of them getting the money every week. It's time to fade that team. Give me the Chargers +3. Oh my God, we fought a lot tonight, man, bro. This content.
I think you're. All right, you know what? I'm calling it. Senny. I want a Senny. On the Ravens Chargers.
Oh shit.
I'm calling it.
Do I get the hook at 3.5 because I gave you
no
the hook?
No, okay, that's oh God. You know what? I'll be fair. You gave me the hook at 8, so okay, tell you what, would you rather have the hook here or would you rather give me the hook? Let's make it very even. So do you want 7.5 with the Texans or do you want 3 with the Chargers?
One more time. Do I want 7.5?
Okay, so do you want 7.5 with the Texans or do you want 3.5 with the Chargers? Let's not give each other both. Let one person gets a hook, one person has to take the straight. That way it's actually even.
What do you mean by the straight?
Okay, so the Texans and Titans is 7.5 or 8. You gave me the 8. This is a 3 hook, but the 3.5 hook favors you. So if we each take one, there's a chance we could tie on one and get fucked on the other.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm saying is, would you rather have the hook with the Chargers at 3.5, or do you want the 7.5 with the Texans?
Oh, so basically, if I took Chargers 3.5, it'd be Houston 8.5. Is that what you're saying?
It would be Houston. It would be Houston 8.
Houston 8. Yeah, I'd rather have Chargers 3.5, Houston 8.
All right, so then we'll do Titans 8, Chargers 3.5. Okay, so we each get one. All right, works for me.
Oh boy, get those cinnies ready, buddy. I'm feeling really good about that bet. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that fucks me over. What the fuck am I thinking? Because that gives you the fucking edge.
Fresh.
Or no, we each get a half. We each get okay, fine, fuck it. Let's leave it.
Yeah,
we're good. All right, yeah, get the cinnies ready. All right.
Ready.
Jesus God, that was something.
That episode was way longer than it should have been.
All right, let's give out the final thoughts, comments, concerns. Give out our best bets. Money Mansman, your best bets of the week.
Oh boy. Okay, fade of the week, Chargers +3, but obviously our city bet, I have the 3.5. I have my dog of the week was, oh my God, I can never remember. Who the hell was my dog of the week? Oh God, the Chicago Bears +3.5. I almost forgot about that. Best bet, the Mr. Honorable Kyler Cole Murray Esquire, the Arizona Cardinals, -1.5, +1, depending on wherever the hell you bet it. And I also like the over 41.5 Giants Bucks and Baker Mayfield for everything. Okay, that's it. What do you got?
Okay, so I never gave out my under of the week. My under of the week was 47.5 under Cardinals Seahawks. I have a feeling Seattle gets shut the fuck down in this game. Kyler will run the rock. This game's going to be over before you know it. So that was my under of the week. My over of the week, Denver Raiders over 41.5. I think Denver gets it on their own. My fade of the week, we're fading the Texans here. I am getting the hook at 8 for the sake of the Incinerator bet. Tennessee Titans +7.5 is the bet. My best bet of the week, Tampa Bay Bucks -5.5. Dog of the week, part 2 was the Rams money line, but it also was my real dog of the week was the Cardinals, if you can get plus money on it. I got nothing left. Money management, we're in our closing remarks. Breaking news, Nick Bosa also out for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, might have to bet the Packers again. Can't quit them.
I think I might change my pick. I think I might have to go Packers here.
I'll post the contest.
For the sake of hedging them.
I will post the contest on Twitter tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that.
Sounds good. Make sure you follow us on x.com/DeGents podcast. You make sure you check out our contest plays. Beat Money Mansman and you win a free bet. All right, Mansman, week 12. God, this week was rough to handicap. I'm glad it's over.
Yeah.
But we had Thanksgiving, so we have to talk about Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving's on a Thursday. We'll be busy, so we won't be. We could theoretically put out a Friday episode, but I think our Tuesday episode, if we do that, or Wednesday episode, is just going to have to be a pure Thanksgiving, Black Friday handicap, nothing else.
Yeah.
It's up to you. I don't know what's going on with the holidays, but
yeah, it could be busy. We'll try, and with the holidays, we'll really try and keep it I know we say that.
I think Wednesday will be
a rapid fire.
Yeah, I think Wednesday will be no recap. It'll just be rapid fire Thanksgiving picks.
Yeah.
Black Friday picks. Friday, we'll do live reaction to the Black Friday game. Or we'll do a recap of the Thanksgiving, moving on, and then, if any, I don't know. If Friday, I guess we could just move on to the rest of Sunday. I think we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, no recap. We'll just go with week 13 bets, broken up into 2 episodes. We'll go from there.
All right, buddy. Sounds good. Other than that, I got nothing else. So I'm
right.
Money Landsman. He's
I am Big Bucks Beta.
signing off. And as always,
Winners get to eat.
make that money.
Have a good